The Wolf Among Us is an ongoing episodic adventure series from Telltale Games. Telltale Games gained notoriety for their Walking Dead series, which was released in 2012. The Wolf Among Us is a graphic adventure game that uses the same engine as the rest of the Telltale games. So far, only 3 of the 5 episodes have been released. The game's plot is a prequel to the comic book series Fables, which started in 2002 and is set to end in 2015. The game has one of the most interesting and engaging plots I've ever seen in a game. The game takes place in 1986, 16 years before the comic book series. The plot revolves around fairy tale characters living in a small community in Manhattan called Fabletown after being ran out of the mystical lands. In the game, you play as a character named Bigby Wolf, the big bad wolf and sheriff of Fabletown. The majority of the game you're investigating a serial killer that's killing other fables. The game's plot evolves and changes depending on your decisions during the dialogue sequences and battle sequences. Many of the decisions that you make in this game are life and death decisions that will affect those around you, making you incredibly invested in the decisions you make in this game. The game has an amazing roster of characters from fairy tales that you'll meet, including Snow White, Ichabod Crane, Bluebeard, Tweedledee and Dum, among others. Every dialogue scene is incredibly engaging because you're given a bunch of options for what you want Bigby to say. The personality of all the characters is also really great, and it's fun to explore how they'll react to what you say to them. The plot is amazing. It does a wonderful job of drawing you into its narrative and never letting go. In terms of gameplay, the game is fairly bare bones. You're able to walk around, but only occasionally, and all combat is done by highlighting certain things on the screen and pressing a button, or through QuickTime style events. Truthfully though, the lack of gameplay doesn't really hinder the game at all, because the game feels so much like you're watching an interactive movie rather than playing a game. The game knows what it is, and that's a completely plot-driven game, so it doesn't try and focus on gameplay. Graphically, the game looks fantastic. It has a highly stylized, cel-shaded look that does a great job of replicating the look of the comic series. The game also has a very noir look to it that helps accentuate the crime fiction plot of the game. The soundtrack for this game is incredible. It's dark and it sets the mood fantastically in every situation. It really helps adding tension to many of the scenes in the game and adds a lot to the game's noir look and feel. All 5 episodes of the game can be picked up for $25, and so far the game's been totally worth it. Episode 3 came out recently, and each of the episodes have left me wanting more from the series, and I'm looking forward to the final 2 episodes in The Wolf Among Us. While The Wolf Among Us doesn't really have much in the gameplay department, the rest of the game's plot, graphics, and sound all stand out and make it a really enjoyable experience. When entering this game, it's best to think of it as an interactive movie more than anything. The Wolf Among Us is totally worth checking out for its amazing plot and visual style.